What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to part 22 of our Pokemon Blaze Black 2 Redux walkthrough. In the previous video, we battled Marlin and earned our 8th and final gym badge. It was quite an intense battle. We also explored some of Humalau City, where we currently are. It's a beautiful tropical city. And before we ended things off, Blue, Marlin, and myself spoke about Team Plasma. So I think now we're going to try and explore Route 22 because Blue said that we should explore this area and split up. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I think the next part of the game, we have to try and stop Team Plasma for once and for all. We have earned all the gym badges now, so there's no more gyms to take on. I'm guessing we've got to try and find Team Plasma and defeat them one more time. Maybe they have another boss that we haven't found. We'll have to see what's lying in store for us. But Route 22 is jam-packed with areas to explore. There's a lot of grass and wild Pokemon to battle and try and catch. And now we've just stumbled across the final legendary Pokemon, Terrakion. We've already encountered Cobalion, Virizion, so now I suppose it's time for Terrakion. But just before we battle it, Colress pops out of nowhere and he's got an item for us. He gives us the Colress machine. So I'm not 100% sure what that's used for, and I don't know how Colress always pops up at these weird times. But he tells us that there's a cave or something along Route 21, so we will go and explore that. But now let's first try and catch this legendary Terrakion.
Approximately 10 hours later.
I'm not even exaggerating. I tried to catch this Pokemon for over an hour and I just was not getting any luck. I suppose you've got to have unique types of Pokeballs or something, but eventually we ended up knocking it out. I did give up on catching Terrakion. We'll have to go and buy a whole bunch of different types of Pokeballs and hopefully we will be able to encounter it again. I think you've got to use like Dusk Balls, Net Balls, like all those specific balls for each legendary Pokemon. I think one ball must work more effectively than the others, because I tried probably 100 Ultra Balls there and whatever else I had, Time Balls, I even tried a few Quick Balls. So we just weren't having any luck, but we're going to keep exploring the route. There's a whole bunch of trainers to battle and there are these balance beams throughout the route, and if you want to avoid the grassy areas, you can try and walk across these little beams. And that will definitely help you avoid the grassy areas and more wild battles. But we're going to try again for the third time. We finally crossed this little beam. We're going to push the stone in here so we don't have to go all the way around in the future. If you go up this staircase, that's where we started off exploring the route. But now let's continue forward. We got to see where this route ends. It looks like we've reached the last little section here, but there's a whole bunch of the beams here. So I think you can reach a little secret area or two from this point. But it also looks like there's an entrance to a cave there. So I suppose this route is going to lead us to some special cave. We definitely are going to explore that. So let's go and first go across all the way up to this other secret beam. And there's nothing here except a hidden grotto. So there is a Spinnerack in this hidden grotto at this time, but we'll come back at a later stage and see if there's a different Pokemon there instead. I do like Spinnerack, but I would rather try and catch something else. I do believe, depending on the time of day, the Pokemon that appears in the hidden grotto can change. And we enter the cave and there's two Team Plasma grunts chatting, but they're blocking the route and they won't let us pass. So I suppose there's something we have to do in order to get them to move. So we're gonna fly back to Humalau City, and we're gonna try and explore Route 21 because Colress told us that there's a cave there. So I'm guessing that's the little clue that we need. We're gonna have to go and find this cave and see if there's someone we need to talk to or battle, and then hopefully make our way back to that cave. But now I'm just taking a bit of time to stock up on some items because we are a bit low on everything. I do need some revives, some ultra balls, some potions, and some max repels. I also want to sell off a lot of the items that I'm not really using. But now that that's all sorted, we're gonna try and surf across here and see if we can find this hidden cave along Route 21. I don't think we've explored this area at all. So there are a couple trainers here, and it's a bit of a windy maze to get your way through, but nothing too difficult. We're gonna battle all the trainers here off camera and see where we end up. It looks like it is an interesting area with a whole bunch of little islands. Here we've reached an island, and it looks like there's a cave here too. So this is called the Seaside cave. The first time I entered the cave, I thought I would try and explore everything, but I did miss a little pathway, so it is quite tricky to figure your way through here. That's why I think this video is going to be quite helpful for you guys. But first I want to try and pick up all the items in the cave and try not leave anything out. You've got to battle a couple trainers to get your way through here. But as you can see, if you go around, you just start off again where you started. So this time we're going to go down the staircase, and you're going to battle this karate guy. And from here you can actually surf into a little island in the middle, and also surf right behind it to a brand new area. So we pick up the heart scale, and now we're going to surf off and see where that takes us. We're going to go all the way up on the side, and it's quite a long path, but then you will reach a brand new area with a staircase up or down. So let's first go down and explore what there is to do here. And when you go down, you'll realize that there are a few little puzzles with boulders that you have to push into place. So they're fairly easy. The first one is just blocking the path, so that's straightforward. Some of them have rocks that you have to smash as well. But now we're gonna show you how to do this little puzzle. So first we're gonna push one of these boulders in the hole. And in order to complete this puzzle, you have to do it in a specific order. So if you do get stuck, just watch this video and you'll see how it's done. But we've only got one more boulder to push, and we have picked up the rare candy. So it wasn't all that difficult. You just got to be careful not to start at the first section where you find the puzzle. You've got to go to the back to start. And we find a little staircase up. So now we also have found the TM06 toxic. I really want to try find everything. And there's a little exit there. That's exactly where we started to enter the cave. So it's actually the entrance. That's why this whole cave is a bit confusing. You always end up back at the start. But I didn't take the staircase up here to the right. It was blocked, but now I realize Colress's machine can actually wake up this rock like we did way earlier on the game. Remember when Crustle blocked the whole path? Now we actually use Colress's machine to wake up this Crustle and battle it. We did get Crustle's HP down to red, so I thought let's try and catch it. We might as well add it to our team. It just worked out really well. And the more Pokemon, the better, right? So yes, we threw an Ultra Ball, we caught Crustle, and we have found the exit to the cave. There are two exits. The other exit doesn't really lead you anywhere. It just takes you back to an old route after you surf across. But we pick up a hidden calcium, and now we have found the correct exit. And Team Plasma's ship is here again, so we're definitely on the right track. And next, Blue also exits the cave, so it looks like we are both going to try and enter and stop Team Plasma. And next thing, we see Marlin getting off the ship, so I wasn't expecting that. We asked Marlin if he decided to help us fight Team Plasma, and he said he doesn't really want to get involved or decide if Team Plasma is good or bad without thinking about it. So he didn't really help all that much, but Blue rushed off inside and we followed him, and we encountered some plasma grunts protecting the entrance, but they ran off to their boss, so it looks like we're gonna have to explore the ship ourselves and see if we can find Zinzolin again. If we can beat him again, hopefully it will be the last. This ship is a little bit big and there's some really confusing puzzles, and you do want to make sure that you're stocked up on items because this is a super tough part of the game. You're going to end up battling a lot of people and you're not going to have much time to heal up your team. So just make sure you've got some revives and potions and ethers. But now we have found Blue and he heads into an entrance in the ship, and we come across two plasma grunts, so I think we're going to have to take them on and defeat them. And after you defeat them, they run off, but we can't make our way through here yet because there's some kind of barrier beam blocking the way, so we have to figure out a way to deactivate them. But outside of this little cabin, there was a staircase going down into the ship. So we have followed Blue down here, and it looks like there's a whole bunch of plasma grunts protecting this area. You can try and avoid some of the grunts, but with the difficulty of this puzzle, you might as well just battle them all and get it out the way. But with this puzzle, you've got to enter these doors in a special combination, and there's these teleportation pads in each cabin. So it's kind of like a puzzle to get the correct order, and when you enter the correct teleportation device, it will send you to one of these rooms with the switches, and you have to deactivate all 3 switches to drop the barrier. So it is very confusing. I recommend you start in one cabin and test out the teleportations in that room first, and then move to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. There's 3 rooms on the left side and 3 rooms on the right side, but some cabins have 4 teleportation pads like this one. Some only have 1 or 2. So it's a bit tricky to try remember where all you have been and which one sent you where. But we slowly worked it out. We've got 2 switches deactivated now. So I'm sure there was 3. I'm not sure if it was 3 switches on either side, but we'll see how we do here. There are a lot of plasma grunts in each cabin, so you can avoid them if you get your timing right. But if you don't get your timing right, you're going to have to battle them. Okay, yes, so I think there's 4 switches that you have to deactivate. So there's 2 on the left, 2 on the right. So there's 4 switches you've got to switch off, and then the barrier beams will drop. So each switch is for one of the beams, and I think there were 4 beams blocking the way. But there, I think we have switched all of them off now. All the barriers have been deactivated. So you can kind of see where I stepped on the teleportation things to reach the switches, and I hope that will help you out. But again, there is another huge puzzle up ahead. But first, we have found Zinzolin, the Team Plasma boss, and I'm sure we're going to have to battle him. And he shows us he's got a legendary Pokemon, Kyurem, and that's the Pokemon responsible for all those ice shots. It's actually Kyurem shooting the ground and freezing everything. Kyurem is one of the strongest legendary Pokemon. But now we're going to have a tag team battle, myself and Blue against Zinzolin and the Team Plasma Grunt. And this is a super tough battle. I did lose it a couple times, So you want to train up your team and be prepared. I do recommend that most of your team be around level 65 for this one, because it is really tough. And the first Pokemon that our opponents sent out were Walrein and Quillfish. Walrein was an absolute tank in the previous battle, so I wanted to knock it out as soon as possible. We got Walrein out the way, and now Weavile has been sent out. So we have gone with Metagross, and Blue has sent out Electros. Electros is a big help in this battle because it's an electric type. So we're going to see if we can knock out as many Pokemon as we can. I think this might be the last time that we battle Zinzolin, but I'm not 100% sure. But as you can see, Electros is still hanging in there. It's barely taken any damage, but Metagross is almost knocked out. It has been knocked out now. It looks like the opponents were gunning for Metagross hard, but now Electros has knocked out Quillfish, so things are still looking on the up for us. We are only one Pokemon down, and we have knocked out 2 of theirs. Now we send out our secret weapon, our big man Dragonite. And Dragonite is the strongest Pokemon in our team. It's level 68, but it gets one-shotted. How on earth did that happen? So our Dragonite one-shot and it's out. Luckily, Electros also knocked out their Weavile. Now they're going to send out Drifblim. So Carnivine and Drifblim are out. A ghost Pokemon and a grass type. So we're going to try and hit Drifblim with a psychic attack. I think it will be super effective. And we one-shot Carnivine with our Sludge Bomb. Gengar is an absolute weapon in this game when you teach it the correct moves. Next up, the Team Plasma Grunt sends out Golem, which is a super cool ground and rock type Pokemon from the original 151. If we can knock out Drifblim and Golem, then I think we'll have this battle for sure. Golem is going to be quite strong against Electros unless Electros can use a water attack. So let's see how this battle plays out. We're going to try and hit our opponent with Sludge Bomb, but now we're going to go for Drifblim. It wasn't all that effective on Golem. Golem has knocked out Electros finally, but that is Blue's first Pokemon only. We do hit Drifblim and poison it, so that's going to be a big help in this battle. Unfortunately, Gengar gets knocked out. But now, Blue and myself can send out a brand new Pokemon. So I'm going to send out Blastoise now to try and get rid of Golem really fast. And Blue sends out Flygon, the Dragon-type Pokemon. I think this team should definitely knock them out. And Blastoise uses a brand new attack, Water Sprout, and it knocks out both of them. It's super powerful. And I believe with this attack, if you have full HP, the attack is super strong. If you have a little bit of HP, the attack is weak. But there we have it. We've defeated Zinzolin and the Team Plasma Grunt. It was a super tough battle, but we got the W. Blue asks Zinzolin where the stolen Purloin is. He's not giving up on it. And he tells Zinzolin that it was his sister's Pokemon. And Zinzolin can't believe that he's doing all of this just for a Purloin, but it is an important Pokemon for him. And then all of a sudden the Shadow Triad rocks up, well, the 2 of them, and they teleport us off the ship again. And now the ship hovers into the sky and blasts off. So I don't know where it's going, but hopefully it's not going to cause any more trouble. I can't believe they've got the legendary Pokemon Kyurem as well. We are back on the beach now, and all of a sudden Sharon runs out, and Blue said he's going to go back to Route 22. So I suppose we've got to make it all the way back to that cave where those Team Plasma Grunts were blocking us. So there's been a lot of back and forth and traveling in this video. It's been a long one, but we're going to fly back to Humalau town and end things off there. We will continue exploring Route 22 in the next one. Thanks for watching.